All right, so we're back in Paradise Valley, and this home gets your attention quick. With Mummy Mountain here in the backdrop, this home has tremendous scale, so many amenities, and so much you can't see from the gates and the front entry of this home. There's actually so much hidden underneath and behind everything here. There's room for 38 cars with lifts, go-karts underneath the property, a full underground level built for entertainment, and a lot more that you'd never guess just standing right here. Altogether, you're pushing close to 30,000 square feet. And big thank you to our friend Katrina Barrett with Christie's International here in PV, Arizona for opening up the doors for us to this incredible compound. We're gonna be racing some go-karts with her later on in this tour, but first, we have to talk about the exterior of this property. Over $1.5 million went into just the landscaping and lighting alone. So you go off that guest parking and you can walk up through this footpath, all limestone everywhere. And then you have this 18th century trough imported from Italy right here at the entry, just creating for a nice reset. I mean, the landscaping, the ficus bushes that go probably 14 feet, just add so much privacy to the circumference of this property. Olive tree set, and the amount of grass and flat grounds is just something you don't see in Arizona ever. So a lot of work went into it, all the colors, I mean, so much texture everywhere. And the landscaping was all done by Berghoff Design Group, set on just over 2 acres. So you come through this walkway, agave plants, everything's in full bloom, mature palms on each side, so much symmetry. And then from a drone shot, you really get a feel of that scale once again. But now here at the entry, you can really start to see the contrast. Steel and glass windows, that off-white stucco, and then above, this thick concrete tile roof. Even from out here, you can tell there is a serious amount of concrete in this house. It feels extremely solid and very permanent. This home isn't going anywhere. But now let's step inside. Again, all that honed limestone from the outside now flows into the interiors. Again, just above, vaulted ceilings, cascading chandelier, those organic soft warm touches, and then you have a hallway which extends the entire width of this front entry. So it's almost different branches of the home, but again, everything is just so open. We have a great breeze coming in today, and it flows all the way through to the pool, the Casita, and of course, Mummy Mountain in the backdrop. I mean, just the scene and setting of this home is incredible. But like I said, long hallway, and then we go to the white oak, which is just everywhere here in this home. And all the interior design was done by Bowe, and she did an incredible job just creating this Scandinavian-like experience and just creating for a warm, organic touch everywhere you look. And I love these circular accent windows that break up this horizontal linear lines that we see throughout the home. It just has a nice break. And the movement from the sun through those windows just dances across the different textures and surfaces here in this very voluminous space. And then off to my left, you have this L-shaped couch, which is all surrounding this gas fireplace, more of that natural stone backdropping that frame TV. And above, softly illuminating this space here in the evening, is this very artisanal circular chandelier. Almost has like this flower petal-like effect to it. Again, very organic touches everywhere. And I gotta call out this too. I mean, obviously I mentioned the views of Mummy Mountain and the pool and the Casita and the grill, and I mean, there's so much happening that we'll get to, but check out these swings. And then above you have this rattan woven pendant lights with surround sound speakers everywhere. I mean, if there's a wall, there's probably a speaker in it. You're gonna see that kind of idea played out throughout this home. Very minimalistic, but details everywhere hidden behind the surfaces. Because that build quality by Arcadia, builders here in Arizona, everything is just reinforced, rebar, concrete, you name it. This home, like I said, the permanence of it and just how you can feel all the materials. You've got seating over here, so again, great breakfast. You walk out with your espresso, come sit right here and just enjoy your views of Paradise Valley, and just the weather is perfect, as you guys know, here in Arizona. And then more natural stone on this massive island with seating for 4, and then you have these hand-blown glass ribbed fixtures just softly illuminating this space. It's just beautiful. And then you have a gas stove backing it. And I love this glaze finish on this tile. Just the way the light bounces off of it just gives it that very organic touch, backing this 6-burner gas stove with that pot filler. I mean, you always gotta call out these. These are the most convenient thing ever. And then look at the monolithic hood vent. It goes all the way to the ceiling, just like the tile, but this has that Venetian plaster. So again, a lot of waterproofing elements right here. You're gonna see that throughout the home. Again, just the touches, the detail throughout to make this super livable year round. The sink flanking each side is a dishwasher. I'm actually gonna go around into the butler's kitchen as Lydia loops around, but I did wanna call out these Sub-Zero refrigerators right here. Everything's hidden behind white oak. So I'll step in where there's more ovens waiting for us, and you can hide everything out right here between these pocket doors. There's another sink, espresso machine back here, and a refrigerator, so everything you need is accessible. And then this is the big moment right here. Things get really quiet, calm as you're having a nice dinner with your friends and family, grabbing a bottle of wine out of one of your 2 wine refrigerators that are displayed. And again, these are temperature controlled. So you have a long wooden dining table that goes the entire length of this room. And look at the subtle curvature of these walls going up to these beam tray ceilings with that circular modern fixture hanging above. Just warm lighting, again, everything was thought of. But now here at the end of the hallway, just to speak on that connectivity once again, you can go through the sun courtyard from the motor courts. I mean, we get so much natural light here in the mornings especially. This is the place you want to hang out and have that cup of coffee or tea, and you go through another set of French doors straight out to the pool or that casita. And at the very end of the hallway, you have a 2-stall car garage or 4 with the lift. But now we're gonna switch, and Lydia's gonna show you this side of the home.
And down this hallway, you have your laundry room with 2 washers and 2 dryers and direct access to outside. And you have a bunch of fenced-in areas for your pets, which is perfect. 2-stall car garage, or 4 if you're a car enthusiast. You have your key drop right here, which is perfect, right off the garage. And then down this hallway, you have the powder bathroom. And this is what I call the kids' wing. Look at how cute this is. You've got books, you have this little like playroom. You've got books, coloring, everything you could need as a kid. And then to my left is her bedroom. It's all set up with this pretty pastel colors, the cute wallpaper with the flowers, and then this chandelier hanging above. And every bedroom is set up with their own ensuite. This is the first 2 of 8 bedrooms in this house. And then behind Gavin is his bedroom. And again, another adorable setup. You have perfect views of your front entry, and again, ensuite off to my right.
I had to call out this. Look, they have drawers full of just arts and crafts stuff too.
I know, this is the perfect spot, and it's not the only spot that's set up for the kids.
So. Oh yeah, there's something coming later that is just insane.
Exactly. So back this way, we're gonna go to the primary wing.
Look at this hallway. It's just so dramatic. All the light filtering through. It's made to actually feel like you're walking outside at the same time with those tray ceilings, again with the illumination.
And back this way you have more French doors that lead you out into this beautiful garden and courtyard. You have this gas fireplace with plenty of seating, and back behind that you have a wellhead from France that's from the 18th century.
Just love all those different little pieces. But I love here at this home how you can get your blood pressure up here in the lower level, the gym of course, and then what's to come in the garage. But then at the end of the night, flick the lights on, turn the gas fireplace on, and then you can decrease your blood pressure. So I love how you got options here.
It's perfect for the entire family, friends, kids, everyone. And now we're heading into the primary wing. Through these French doors, the space just opens up. You have the light lime washed walls that subtly curve into the ceiling, and look at how beautiful this beaded light fixture is.
Just the Scandinavian aesthetic carries into the actual bed frame. The headboard goes almost the entire width of this back wall, that same texture carried from that couch we saw in the living room, and even the bedside tables have texture from that limestone. Everything is just so welcoming and warm, and behind Lydia, French doors open up to your hot tub.
And I can just imagine an evening here, coming out these French doors, spending some time in the hot tub during the evening, grabbing a bottle of wine from your temperature controlled wine display that holds over 400 bottles of wine. Or if you're a Gavin, chocolate milk probably.
Hey, I do like me some chocolate milk.
To each their own. And then in here, you have your walk-in ensuite. To my left and to my right, you have the water closet. But when I wake up in the mornings, if I lived here, this is the very first place that I would come.
The espresso machine?
The espresso machine.
Typical.
You have the perfect get ready area for your coffee, mini bar below, and then this enormous walk-in shower. And I just love how the cool toned stone perfectly balances this white oak cabinetry set below your vanity, and it mirrors on the other side. And anchoring this room is this deep soaking tub. And just look at the beautiful views of Mummy Mountain.
It's the first thing you see when you come in here, that lawn and just the grass, again, a rarity here. And then you have the skylight illuminating this space above with that candelabra fixture, which is almost, it looks like it's made from like driftwood. It's
it really does.
And you can separate everything off.
With a pocket door right here. And then you have your custom closet. And I love how everything is hidden away in the cabinet. So you're not having the clutter out and about, and it's just super clean and minimal.
Everything in this home is just so aesthetic. Again, they were very, very intentional with that interior design to have the detail between the materials which you're touching, but also keeping everything hidden and just very seamless and clean. But then right aside, again, everything is behind doors for your convenience, but you've got laundry as well, right?
Laundry, and then you have drying racks set here. You have 4 of those, which is perfect. And then this is where it gets really fun.
So you turn a corner and then you have the in-home gym.
Where we're gonna get a workout in, just real quick.
I not only wanted to show you guys the gym, but I also wanted to use it. I mean, this gym is so cool. Imagine wake up in the mornings, coming out here with your espresso, having this garage door, it all opens up. Lydia's on the Peloton taking a class. I mean, look how cool this is. And Lydia, your view of Mummy Mountain.
It's so beautiful.
That is so cool. I don't even know what this is.
It's not scary, you have your reformer.
It looks scary. It looks scary. I'm gonna stick to these. I know what these are. This is the bench, deadlift, and then a torque machine for sleds. I mean, having flat ground here and grass in Arizona is a rarity, and you've got it all outside your gym. But you have the ski erg, the row machine, the bike, the cold plunge in the morning. That's how you start your day. And then you can open all of this up, and it goes out to that courtyard where that well fountain is, and you even have a punching bag and more pieces of equipment right behind us. But man, there's a lot to see here, but I need to get a workout in too, Lyd. So.
You're gonna show us your skills? See how many can you do, Gav?
All right, that's it.
Dang, 50?
50. But I gotta conserve my energy because this is a big, large home. Imagine you can play football, any sort of sport you want back out in your backyard. Just again, the privacy, the entire back retaining wall is just these large thorn bushes. So again, it's for more privacy, security, right? Over here, you follow the limestone pavers around to your shower area, which is all outdoors, of course. That's the vibe here in Arizona, that indoor-outdoor flow. And now back inside, right? Straight through this door back here. This is where we're gonna pick up the tour, and this is where I think the pace of this tour is gonna pick up a little bit. Now that we got our little workout out of the way, we're gonna continue over into our powder room. So you have this pedestal concrete sink, the brass hardware, and artwork hanging on the walls is done by Chris LeBroy. He's known for putting familiar objects in unfamiliar places. Subtle foreshadowing, because the Porsches from inside that artwork are now in the garage in a more familiar environment. So we have matching with the carbon and the blues on the GT2 and the GT3 RS. I believe this spec is 1 of 6, but so beautiful setup here. Now imagine you can put another lift here as well. So 38 cars in total through all the different garages, and just the concrete that's reinforced with the rebar, the triple stacked. You can fill up all these garages, again, to height, and still bring a fire truck out here as well. Wow. That's how much this is weighted for, because on the lower level, just a giant void, right? That's where the go-kart track is, the shooting range, and so much more, the bar. I mean, everything is just below our feet, and you can actually enter all that just outside these windows. You'll notice there's actually a little walkway that guides you all the way down to that lower level, so you can have valet drop people off right here from outside your gates and have just, you know, incredible parties. I mean, that's what this was made for, just obviously entertaining large groups of people. Look at this, guys. This just goes outside, by the way. This door just leads directly to the motor court, but this button does something a little different. that opens up this massive garage door. I mean, this is like stuff you see at a private hangar. And as you can see, this goes way beyond a normal luxury garage. I mean, you have a proper 2-post lift with a chassis already on it. So you can tell they're actually working on stuff in here. That's what it's meant. So it's more than just storage for your vehicles. And this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. This is called hide-a-hose. I just learned about this, but you literally just pull this out of the wall and you can, you know, vacuum up, but it does more than that. I think there's like 70 feet, 80 feet. Does it stop? Okay, I was like, does it ever stop? And look at this. That's how you put it back in. This is the coolest part.
That's insane.
And it goes all the way to the vacuum back there. So that is not only in this garage, but also the one just across. That is so cool. You would never know it was even there. And I love how we also have outlets in the ground. And the way the garages are set up, you can tell they're meant for that 2-height setup as well. So a lot of configuration went into, obviously, for this. And you've got a go-kart set up here. They're working on it. The tools, I mean, everything is set up in these drawers. You even have air right here and an outlet. So, I mean, it's just set up and ready for whomever is next here. But perfect place for a workshop, and also one of the cleanest workshops I've seen. They keep this place obviously very tidy. Not a bolt goes missing here. So this actually leads you up to the office, set up as a mezzanine. It overlooks the shop here and the backyard. And then, of course, you have to have a sim racer, right? So you're getting ready for the track here. So you're gonna always be racing, right? Always prepared. And then this might be my favorite vehicle in the fleet. So we have a 1950s F-250 that they're working on here. And then, again, the scale of this home, the volume, you can fit a boat in here as well. And there's actually a door that goes out to the guest house, which has 2 bedrooms that mirror each other. But I want to take everyone up to the mezzanine because this office has an incredible view. Now up here, as you can see, the mood changes and shifts. You have this crystal Sputnik chandelier above, elevating the space, leathers, again, those same kind of natural tones, but darkening and deepening just a bit. I mean, the weathered wall, backdropping the office. I mean, what a cool place to get work done, take calls. And this all opens up. So not only does it open up, but just like those doors we saw earlier, they disappear into the wall. And this is just a cool place to hang out. Again, like I said, get a little work done, overlook anyone working down below, and you've got great places to lounge and overlook your just over 2 acres here. And of course, Mummy Mountain in the backdrop. And from up here, you really just hear the birds chirping and just the movement of the leaves here in the evening. Such a cool, calming place to come hang out and just get secluded. And again, a little bit of a reset. Now we're gonna head back down, go across to the other garage. So just so we're familiarized with the layout again, we're on the motor court. The gate access is over here, and then the courtyard to my right. So the other garage is straight ahead. So you've got direct access, left, right, and center. I'm pretty sure that's a game, right? Left, right, center? But you've got bikes, because if you're a car enthusiast or you just have toys, it's nice to have kids and bikes separate so they're not falling and bumping or scraping against your nice things. So, and here's where all your helmets, storage, dirt bikes, watercraft, RTVs, side-by-sides are kept. And again, you can do a stack configuration here as well and have 4 cars. You can have SUVs parked here as well. I mean, the door heights are high enough. The garage doors are on the sides as well. And the wattage is on the floor. Everything is correct and ready for that setup and those lifts if you're going to configure it that way. And so same idea over here, but this is a first for Lydia and I. I've never seen something like this. So the walls and ceilings are waterproof, and you can kind of see why here in a moment, but I have to show you guys this. Look at this.
Oh no.
They have another one. Okay, so you've got 70 feet of hose, as I mentioned, and then obviously you've already seen this trick before, but I gotta do it.
We gotta see it again.
You gotta see it again, right? It's so fun. I mean, like, if that isn't an ad placement for Idaho's, I don't know what it is. And then this is so cool. Again, never have seen this. You can literally wash your car inside. Like, this is all waterproof. And there's even drainage over here. So everything's on at a slope and it just drains out.
It's pretty amazing. Oh, no. That was scary.
You saw the idea in my eyes. I'm just gonna clean his cars today, I think. I think that's...
House tour or cleaning car tour?
Yeah, I'm gonna do both. All right, so we're gonna go out. There's actually a pickleball court out here as well. So we're gonna wrap around, and here you just get an even better view of these garage doors opening up. But we're gonna go over here. You have these brick pavers below our feet. And again, that access point is just over here, just off your pickleball court. You have a little seating arrangement over here. I think Lydia and I are gonna have to 1v1 a little bit later. Put something on it, right, Lyd?
All right, I think we're gonna put coffee on it.
Coffee, fair enough. And we have another rarity right here, which is a full RV setup. So you have sewer and everything set up here. So you can just come home from a trip and you don't have to go anywhere.
Wow.
You have it all here at home, all the hookups right here. And then behind this door, again, this is kind of a full compound experience, right? So if you don't live here, maybe you're an in-law, right? Or you're just a guest, you can park right here, go right into your own private entrance. Again, that reset button, another trough from the 18th century from Italy right here. Beautiful garden, the agave and everything is just manicured. You'll notice the hedging, again, that I spoke on early in this tour, just adding for that layer of privacy. That is the garage right there, guys. I pointed that out earlier, but we're gonna go into the in-law suite. And again, both of these bedrooms are gonna be mirrored. So as you step in, we have another candelabra fixture, that limestone, just those rugged textures, but giving so much great warmth. And as we step in, you just feel these vaulted ceilings, the beam detail, once again, just subtle warmth, but very neutral tones throughout. The grass cloth chandelier hanging above, a little coffee nook with some flowers on the table. Again, we're in a garden right now. You'll notice through these bedroom windows, just garden space. It's really serene out here. But here at the island, we have seating for 4, subtle veining on the countertop, the sink, the industrial pendant fixtures, the gas stove, and the refrigerator, and the cabinets. Everything is just hidden behind these doors. Very clean look. But we have one bedroom over there with perimeter cove lighting, dual vanity setup with a walk-in shower with direct access to a stacked laundry setup. And then around this corner is the other bedroom. Perimeter lighting, once again, those linen pendant fixtures on each side respectively, and then a dual vanity walk-in shower. And at the very end, we have this freestanding tub with above a chandelier that mimics flowers, and then outside you have those flowers. So it's a nice mix of both things, and obviously taking direct inspiration from what's out your windows here. And then just a pantry around the corner. But we're gonna go across the living area and head outside because you have a covered patio space, and this all opens up to your lawn. So again, in-laws, if you're staying here, the grandkids can be literally out here running around playing soccer, football. The mezzanine that we just were at sits above where that office space is. And this is where you come out at the end of the day, light a fire over here on this soft pebble and just gather in an actual garden. That's where the limes, the grapefruits, and lemon trees grow right here. And it's just a beautiful setup. And now we're gonna walk across this lawn, past all these mature trees, and go over to the pool deck. And as I'm walking across, I did want to mention that that is where the lower level begins. So you can actually have guests loop around like I mentioned and go straight down so they're not trafficking through your home. And also the extensive amount of security cameras. I mean, they literally have some that follow you around. So pretty cool, very private. And then you have orange trees on each side of your casita. So imagine waking up, grabbing a fresh orange, and then just sitting in the pool here. I mean,
that sounds so nice.
But like, actually, does it get better than that? Like,
it really doesn't.
No, fresh orange juice is the best. So you have a gas fireplace set centering this casita, that same modern chandelier above, king size bed, again, a lot of volume, and a little table to obviously eat breakfast or dinner here. But you're more than likely gonna be with everyone on the inside dining area. But you've got a sink, closet, microwave, everything you might expect, mini fridge, and then of course the vanity with that white oak, that subtle veining that we've seen throughout, and then the walk-in shower with that bench style seating. Now we're gonna go over here because we've got more, guys. We haven't even started, like genuinely, we haven't even started this tour, but you've got the in-ground trampoline, the playground set as well, and then this is all goes out to the motor court just over here. And check out this stonework here. Just different minerals popping out here on this high top area where you have a bunch of seating and just the entertainment right here. You got the grill, you got the sink set up, mini refrigerators, and a 60-inch long griddle. So steaks, pancakes in the morning, that's my vibe. And then the pizza oven right here. The whole stack, and again, more white oak on these vaulted ceilings. Speakers, I mean, the party continues from in to out. And a more traditional grill right here. And here you have a powder room or changing room just off your pool. And again, these palm trees, just the symmetry that we saw earlier, are on the same side with the entry. And the agave plants, once again, just the amount of landscaping, the olive trees that have just exploded here. And now we're gonna go back through the home. Here's where the tour, I feel, the pace is gonna pick up a bit as we head towards the bunker. Oh no, I think there's a hummingbird that's stuck in here.
Oh no.
Okay, well, let's try to get it.
Aww. Aww.
Look how cute. Little
hummingbird got inside. Don't worry, buddy. Gavrin's gonna rescue you.
He is tiny. This is the cutest thing on earth.
Oh, he's just sitting there. Okay. He's probably like, man, that was so scary.
He's like, I'm out. Okay, well, that was interesting. I did say the pace was gonna pick up a little bit, and I think it did, right?
It's not what we anticipated.
I was gonna say, now that's what I call indoor and outdoor living, but then I decided that was, anyway, that's...
But you said it anyways.
I said it anyway, because it's like, it's kind of funny, but also terrible. Anyway, we have a flex room right here, a lot of space in here as well for storage, or even another bedroom configuration, or an office even, arts and craft room. I mean, you can go on and on, but right here you've got another bedroom again of 8. The bed frame, again, taking inspo from what we see out these windows, the garden, right? Above, vaulted once again, just warmly lighting this room. Ensuite, again, of course, natural tones, the fossils in the limestone, bringing out the warmth from that white oak with, of course, the walk-in shower at the end. Every bedroom has to have an ensuite here. Floor to ceiling, glass. It just feels like we're walking outside at the same time as we wrap around. This is where the pace picks up. This is what I was inferring. So first thing I noticed is this big blue couch contrasting with these yellow foam squares here in the foam pit. As you're rock climbing, trying to reach this painted wallpaper, you fall back into the pit. I mean, how fun. There's even places to climb. So I feel like...
I don't know if it's weighted for you.
I think I might be too big for this, but I bet it'll hold me. You know, so no, I love the wallpaper on the ceiling. It looks all like it's been hand painted, and it, again, surround sound system built into the actual ceiling. I love these woven pendants as well, just that organic quality. This time taking on, again, more of a misshapen, you know, look, because this is the fun room, right?
It is. It's super
We have
playful.
fun in this room. If you got a 3D printer, what kid has a 3D printer?
Every kid.
These 3D prints in Legos, cars, I mean, literally whatever you'd want and dream up, that's what this is for. And at the end, plenty of storage, places for seating, and even a place to crawl up, cuddle up with all your stuffed animals. And then underneath there's like a little kitchen. I mean, it's a whole little world in here. And I love how this is all opened up. So if you're living here, kids here, and then straight across is the gym. So you can keep an eye on how things are moving. And another well that Lydia mentioned earlier, right in the center in that garden. This goes out to the motor court, and now we're gonna go down to the bunker. And they've dug out 16 feet into the earth to make this. Just massive amounts of soil removed to make this bunker. And we're gonna head down and check it out. Now that we're beneath the surface of the home in the motor court, you'd expect the ceiling height to go with it and decrease, but we still have 10-foot tall ceilings. And all the way down this hallway is just lined with those white pendants with the house motto, die with memories, not dreams. I think it's a perfect saying for how this home really plays and lives. And that's all thanks to that 16-foot build. That's how we get these high ceilings, and the 13-foot high ceilings in the clearance out here in the indoor underground go-kart track. I mean, that sounds like a made-up sentence, but it's right here in front of us. We have 4 turns. Again, you can see that concrete. They've poured more concrete in the concrete, reinforced rebar, tripled everything to the highest level to obviously get what you're seeing. I mean, all the I-beams, just rows of it. And this is a really fun course, and this is where I'm gonna, I don't know, we'll see. Katrina might have more practice on this, but we're gonna go around the track a few times here. All right, Katrina, gas is on the right.
I'm a slow driver.
What is going on? It's probably my favorite part of the home, but where do you see yourself being more, let's say, if you lived here?
I love that sauna, I love the gym, I love the pool, I love being outdoors, I love the sun, I think the view's amazing. I mean, when we count the ways, this home is awesome.
So Katrina, you sell a lot of homes in Arizona, Paradise Valley. What makes this home just feel completely different?
I would say that there's a lot of homes that check boxes, but there's very few that check every box. This one really does, and it's fun. This is a fun home.
I could do that for like way too long. I mean, who doesn't love a go-kart track? I mean, especially one that's indoor. You can do it year-round here in Arizona. So now we're gonna step over into the theater room. And they didn't want a traditional stadium-styled, separated leather-chaired movie theater, so they opted for this. You've got carpet beneath your feet, upholstered walls, and these giant blue lounge chairs, which mimics that blue that we saw in that kid's playroom. And of course, we've got the projector screen, the sound, subwoofers, everything's integrated to the walls and ceilings. So I heard this playing earlier through the movie F1, and you feel it in your chest when
You
that
really
movie
do.
goes. It is so cool. But then, of course, everything you would come to find and expect in a home like this, refrigerators, microwaves, popcorn maker, all the works in those pull-out drawers, and everything just feels like it's floating with that integrated lighting down beneath it. But a really great, welcoming atmosphere. But now we're gonna push back out, and Lydia's gonna show you guys probably her favorite or one of the favorite rooms in here in this home.
Okay, of course the ladies are gonna enjoy the go-kart track, but we may be enjoying this a little bit more. To the salon and spa room. So somebody's gonna get their hair done over here, your other 2 friends are gonna be hanging out, and then look at this light fixture. It reminds me of a weeping willow made out of shells. It's so pretty. And then over here, pedicures, manicures, and look at this secret hidden drawer to put all your supplies, nail polish, everything you would need. And then you have the light well letting in all that natural light. And then behind me, you can pocket these doors off and enjoy a nice massage. And then of course, the sauna with the red light therapy. And then over here, custom built-in cabinetry that matches and goes along with the sauna.
I mean,
they thought of everything.
I might be in here getting my toes done too with you, I don't know.
I guess you're invited, guys can come too. And then back this way, we have a powder bathroom. It's very moody and it reminds me of something you would find at a luxury boutique hotel with the elongated pendants, the floating vanity. It's so moody in here. And of course you have the selfie mirror behind the door. But now we're gonna show you the secret room and we can't show you where it is.
So somewhere in the home, you'll find this long, dark hallway with different photos from pop culture, iconic movie moments, and then at the end, you'll find a concrete encased 2-lane shooting range, which sits below the home somewhere, complete with specialized HVAC electronic target retrieval, and an advanced bullet trap system. And the air that gets circulated in this 2-lane shooting range is cleaner than hospital air. And you can be safe and secure knowing when you're coming and going thanks to that system. They're not tracking lead or anything throughout the home. So very high-tech system set up in here. And just off, another layer of privacy and security is the safe door. And in here, I mean, wild. What you might expect, but it's set up like a display room. So very cool they let us share this with you guys. And now let's go tour the rest of the home. Now stepping over into the lounge area, this is that portion of the home that I mentioned earlier that has direct access to the back side where that mezzanine and office area is. That's kind of where about we are now. 14 foot in length here at this bar. Look at this. It just keeps going and going and going, all back to the smoky glass. It's really setting for the vibe, creating an ambiance and a warmth here. And this is a kind of a fun feature. You gotta have one of these, right? If you're gonna have a bar. Cleans your cups, set them right here, and then you also have carbonated water and hot water instantly set right here. So just ease of living everywhere in this house, and then backdropping more of those black tiered, and everything's displayed, all your liquors, and you've got a microwave, mini refrigerators, ice makers, everything you might expect, a circular table for games, and just behind Lydia we have an air hockey table, more lounging to watch games. And this is yet another one of my favorite features here in this home. At the very end of the lounge, you have all these windows that expand the entire width, and you can just watch people rip around the track. This home is one of the most fun and inclusive homes that we've ever toured. There's something, as you saw, for literally everyone here. And if you want a more intimate gathering, you can close these drapes and obviously dim the lights and just create a really cool atmosphere in here. But speaking of a dimmer, quieter atmosphere, as that sun begins to set here in Paradise Valley, we're gonna see what the light package was like here on this home. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, I imagine. Again, millions of dollars went into just the landscaping alone. So you're gonna see this home completely transform into a completely new look.